folks, and welcome to the Salty Seaman. Today we're going to talk about a big problem going through our military. It's been a time-long problem. It's about time it stopped. Of course, I'm talking about being a fucking boot. Now, bootitis might affect everyone at one point or another. Even you may have been a victim of it at one point. But this video is specifically for my new military enlistees, or those thinking of going in or about to go in. I know I have a lot of those on my channel. So let's go ahead and start off with number one of my 5 things to avoid for being a boot. Number 5, wearing moto gear, aka stuff that says U.S. Navy, U.S. Marines, U.S. Army on it, and civilian clothes. This also includes hats, belt buckles, uniform components that are allowed, but trust me, you look boot as fuck wearing that goddamn raincoat. And of course the ever-present camelback, which everyone who seems to get out of basic training seems to want to wear to stay hydrated. You want to make sure everyone in the fucking world knows you're straight out of fucking boot camp. These are the things you wear. Tip of advice, a lot of the times, some of this is because you don't have a lot of other clothes coming straight out of boot camp, you haven't got home yet maybe. Kind of an acceptable excuse, but really, one of the first things you should be doing is get some fucking real clothes that don't say your service on them. Don't be wearing your military raincoat or belt or your boots just because they're authorized. You look like a fucking nincompoop. Number 4, tying right into that, we have wearing your uniform home on leave for the first time. Now, I'm not talking about the first day you first went home on leave, either in the middle of your training school or maybe you went home right after boot camp. That is totally okay. I did it myself. First day you come home, you're proud of your service, you show up in your blues, absolutely cool. What I'm talking about is wearing it every time you go out into your little podunk town, wherever it is, you feel like you got to get in your Charlies, your Bravos, or even in your full fucking blues, with your one goddamn ribbon and your one stripe, and everyone in your town's gonna get the point after a while, and you just look like you're begging for attention, which you are. Again, not saying there's anything wrong with being proud of your service, and the first day is about the moratorium on it. After that, try to be a more normal person and not always running around in your goddamn uniform. There's nothing more boot than wearing a uniform for a straight week, first time home on leave. Number 3, speaking of home, getting married young. These fall into 2 categories. One is your high school sweetheart. I know you just got out of high school and you guys dated all of senior year, so you totally know you are made for each other and it's for life because you've been together so long. Let me tell you something. When you go in the military, a hell of a lot of those marriages do not work out for you. You're taking a young girl or guy, whatever, away from home for the first time into this environment in the military. They have no friends. And you go on deployment, you're gone a long time, and bad things tend to happen. I'll leave it at that. This is a very common thing, especially once a guy, I would say usually guys here, get a taste of barracks life, and after the initial, oh wow, golly gee whiz wears off, it's like the barracks suck, I got a girlfriend back home, I'll just go ahead and make her my wife here at 19, get her pregnant, we're going to get a house. It is so common, it's a stereotype. And, down the line, a lot of these don't work out. Part 2 of this, if you don't have their girlfriend back home, a lot of them go meet the local stripper at the local strip club that's right outside base. And, they're together with them. The stereotype is a weekend, and they come back married, and all of a sudden everyone has to go file paperwork. And, well, guess what? You're about to go on deployment in 2 weeks, and you're brand new married to a 26-year-old stripper with 2 kids. And all of a sudden she's going to have power of attorney over you, your BAH, and all that good stuff. And she's a stripper, okay? I don't care what she told you. I don't care how much in love you think you were after that hot weekend. It's not worth it. I would say for the youngsters, the new boot camps, wait on marriage a couple of years. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Don't come out of that just because you want that extra money, you want to move out of the barracks. So the best way to do it is I'm going to go ahead and get married to my high school sweetheart, or the first pretty girl that went by that I was sticking dollar bills in her G-string a day before. Not a good idea. Number 2, buying a new car or something close to new, expensive. The stereotype is the Mustang. Because Mustang's a fairly affordable sports car. A lot of people think it looks nice. Personally, I'm a Mitsubishi man. But yeah, this is such a common joke on the surface. But it's not really that funny because you're stuck with a lot of debt because generally you're a young kid. You've got no credit score. So these guys are basically raping you on interest. And they know you're good for it because you're in the military and you have a guaranteed paycheck. And if you start defaulting, they can go to your command. So typically, it's right across the street from the strip club on the base, outside the base. There's a lemon lot. They got a shit ton of Mustangs or new Jeeps or lifted pickups. Whatever your taste is, looking for your ass. They're going to find you, and you're so excited with this giant E2 paycheck you got going on that you figure like, hell yeah, I can manage these payments and still live a decent life. More than likely, you'll be eating barracks chow and staying in your room, but hey, you got a nice car for the next 5-6 years, and you can't buy anything else. So be more careful with your vehicle purchases. If you got to buy something more practical, a little Honda Civic that's like 6-7 years old, maybe go with that, okay? And it feeds into the stereotype of the boot. Try to avoid it at all costs. And disclaimer, if you're getting stationed in Japan, trade out Mustang for Mitsubishi Skyline. And the number 1 habit of boots is telling fucking boot camp stories. Alright, this is just a sign you have nothing else to talk to other people about because you haven't been anywhere yet, you haven't done anything yet, you haven't been deployed, you haven't been to sea, you haven't been to combat. All you know that's military related, the same thing everyone else went through, is fucking boot camp. I guarantee you don't have a story that none of us haven't heard or have been through. I know when you're among your fellow boots, it's like under the cover of darkness, get under some blankets, put a flashlight up, and you tell stories about your drill instructor or petty officer in charge or drill sergeant, whatever, and giggle and laugh amongst yourselves. You know what? That's fine. When you start doing it around people who got some salt on them, been around, all we can do is roll our eyes and just think about what a fucking boot you are and how little experience you actually have. Now, I'm not saying all this stuff to denigrate anyone who's a boot. There's a reason these are stereotypes because everyone does it, and it's just kind of where we come out. I'm guilty of some of the stuff myself, especially the uniform component stuff. I did it. Yeah, I admit it. I was a fucking boot. We all were. But hopefully you watch these, you listen to this kind of stuff from the more senior people, and I take it to heart a little bit and try not to be such a fucking boot. I mean, bootitis affects everyone at that level, and you're still going to be a fucking boot, but try to make it a little less obvious. That's all I got for right now. I'm the Salty Seaman. I'll catch you freaks on the flip side. Peace.